Okay, I think we'll get started. I know we're expecting a few more to join, but welcome to the Helix webinar series. Today's session is on Service Catalog Curator. It is the configuration workshop that we're going to be covering, and joining me today along with her team is Marta Zamorano. She will do her formal introduction shortly, but before we get started, just a couple of reminders about Zoom. If you have any questions during this workshop, please put your questions into the Q&A section, which you'll find at the bottom. We have a team that will be answering those questions as we go along, and then we will have roughly around 10 to 15 minutes at the end where we will take your questions live and you can talk to the team. I will remind you as well, there will be a poll that will go out at the start, or actually more towards the end, which will just be asking you a couple of questions of your confidence levels. As a team, we are looking to help you with your agent configuration. So if you're finding it still a bit of a struggle, do fill in the survey. Once we've got those details, they will reach out to you individually. The other thing to remind you as well, when we send out the thank you email with details, there will be information on the communities pages that you can also put your questions on as well. So without further ado, Marta, I'm going to hand over to you to get us started.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I am very happy really to be here today for this session about Service Catalog Curator. My name is Marta Zamorano, and I am part of the Helix Adoption Advisory Team at BMC Helix. In this team, what we are doing is we work with the customers for different adoptions in the different modules and releases. The purpose of this session today is to do a configuration step by step about the agent Service Catalog Curator. Thanks for attending to this call, and moving now to the agenda. So we will complete the following steps for a correct configuration. So we will review the prerequisites to ensure your environment complies with the technical requirements. Then we are moving to Service Catalog Curator overview, explaining the capabilities and the use cases. Then we move to the configuration demo, where I will go step by step in configuration process. I will give you some time to do the steps at the same time that I am doing, and continuing with the service catalog creation. I will create a service request with the agent, and then we will have a dedicated Q&A section. Sam just commented now that we have this section, and I would like to highlight that there is a group of people here, like panelists today, and if you have any questions at any moment, please write on the Q&A section, and they will be answering all the questions. If there is something pending, we can speak about it at the end of the session. This will help you to have this configuration completed and working in your system. So let's move on. Give me 1 second. I am going to switch off my camera, and then at the end of the session, I will turn on again. So moving to the next slide. Prerequisites. Here are the prerequisites to install Service Catalog Curator. In your environment should be in 25.3 minimum, but is recommended 25.4. So every release will have more capabilities, not only in Service Catalog Curator, but also in the other agents, in Employee Navigator, Service Collaborator. So our recommendation is to move to 25.4. The Agent Studio, HelixGPT Agent Studio should be in the same version, or 25.3 or 25.4. If I speak about the licensing, customers, you need to have entitlements for a digital workplace catalog, that it is included in Helix Digital Workplace Advanced, or if you have service, Helix Service Management Standard or Advanced, you know, these are the new licenses at BMC. It is covering digital workplace catalog. But additionally, you need a license for the Service Catalog Curator. This license is automatically included in Service Management Advanced, but not in the other. If you are not sure if your license are included or not, please speak with your account manager to clarify. Then the roles that you need to have: a user admin in Innovation Suite. This is to do all the configuration that we are going to do today. And then we need to have permissions in HelixGPT Agent Studio, like admin too. And then we need Catalog Administrator. With all of these permissions, we can configure everything and have this running today. If I speak about the LLM subscription, it is needed to be or to have this subscription with Microsoft Azure GPT 4.0 or 4.1. And if we are speaking about Google Vertex, you need to have LLM model for Vertex 2.5 Flash or 2.0 Flash. What do we need from your side? What we need is your API endpoint URL, your API key, and the deployment name. Okay, these three features, these three information elements are needed to do all of this configuration. But I will go step by step later when I explain about the model. Okay, moving forward, what is Service Catalog Curator? This is an agent that simplifies and accelerates service catalog creation. With natural language, it's possible to create a service in our service catalog, in the digital workplace catalog. You don't need to be an expert in creating questions, creating workflows, creating approvals for a request, because the agent is doing all of this for you. It's an intuitive chat where you can see a guidance about how to use it, supporting multi-languages with automatic translations like French, Spanish, German, but we will see all of this during the session today. Benefits in Service Catalog Curator. We have different benefits we can see here, like accelerate catalog creation, minimize the operational cost, and enable real-time service updates and multilingual translations. So it's simple to use, simplifies my administration, increasing my productivity for catalog managers. If I speak about KPIs, we have a percentage reduction in catalog creation time, number of catalog items created per month and per administration will increase, and training time reduction and percentage of service automatically translated. So you don't need to think about translation, which language it is doing automatically. Before moving forward to the configuration, I would like to speak a little about the architecture. Very simple. We have our LLM model. This LLM model is connecting with our HelixGPT Agent Studio, and it is creating my service in the catalog by invoking APIs. That is the way how it is working. So we speak with the agent is invoking to the APIs of my digital workplace catalog, and then it is creating all the steps. Like, you know, when you need to create this catalog, you need to create the profile, the workflow, questionnaire, cost and quantity, translations, all of this is done through the APIs. And then what we have here is my service request in my catalog. Then I speak a little about the agent. We will see like one screen like that you have a button, Catalog Assistant. Clicking there, you start your conversation with the agent. Then when you have everything done, you generate your services. It's very, as I was saying, a simplified way to create my service catalog, saving time and effort. If I break down my Service Catalog Curator, there are like 3 different steps that we can use in the agent. One is generate catalog profile, questionnaire, and workflow. So it's like, okay, agent, I want to create this service request. So it is created with all of this, catalog profile, questionnaire, and workflow. But then when you read that, maybe you want to do some changes, update this. No, I want to add this question. I want to remove this label or change the label. I want to add an approval, for example. All of these changes you have to do through natural languages. And then the third part is translated. So I want my service in English. In English is by default. In French, German, Spanish, Portuguese, whatever. So it is created. If we start with the first point, generate catalog profile, questionnaire, and workflows use cases, you will see when you speak with the agent, you will see a summary, what he's ready to create. My service parameters, my service profile, my workflow, my questions, and then it is showing what it has been created. In that moment, I move to the next one, we can edit in real time. It's like, no, I don't like this question. I want to change the question to this one. So it's the moment to do all of these changes that accelerate our catalog creation. And then the third point here is like, okay, I want this in the several language. So you will see now in the screen that we will see questions in English, in French, in German, in Spanish, whatever that we are saying to the agent. That is like the 3 steps to create service requests that we are going to do. So when we are speaking about configuration, this is what we have to do. To configure the model, to configure the agent and the skills, and to do some configurations in the digital workplace catalog. Okay, model, if you are using any other agent already, you already have this done. So you don't have to repeat again a new configuration. You can use your model that you are using for the other agents, like Service Collaborator, Employee Navigator, whatever that you are using now. But if you don't have this done, then I will go through this and show you how to do that. As I said, then later we will move to the skills and the agents, and the last part is configuration in the digital workplace catalog. Seed data, that is very important. Seed data, it's a configuration out of the box that cannot be modified. So it is needed to make to make a copy and configure the copy to be used. In release 25.3, for this agent, there wasn't seed data. So you can do some changes, configuration. Now in 25.4, it's available. So we recommend, even if you are in 25.3, we recommend to do a copy of everything and then work with the copy. So I will show you today how to do that. For the other agents, they are working in seed data too, so it's the same. Anything that you always see an error like seed data is because you need to do a copy and then modify the copy. And configuration demo. Moving to this configuration in the environment. So I will stop sharing this screen because I will do this in my environment. Here it is. So the first thing, we are in Helix portal. Can you see my screen? This is the environment. Yes. Okay, thank you, Sam, for confirming. We are in the Helix portal environment, and the first part is to go to the model. We are doing the same check in all the sessions, even if it's Employee Navigator or Service Collaborator, that it is important to have this model configured. Important, no, it's the integration, it is needed, I mean. Then we have application. And from application, you can see the HelixGPT Agent Studio, but here you have the launch application launcher, and you will have all the applications too. So we have to HelixGPT Agent Studio. From here, the first thing is going to the settings to configure the model. Connection. AI service provider. You will see a lot of out-of-the-box service provider. The recommendations, the same. I was speaking with the seed data, is not doing something like that. This is the out-of-the-box, but I fill out something. What we recommend is to do a copy of this and then to do a customized. Here, if I click in add, everything is in blank, so I can start to fill out. My recommendation is that BMC recommendation is always to do a copy and then work with that. This is my copy. I've already done. If you don't have this done, this is for Azure OpenAI. That is the name of the vendor. Required name, you can write whatever you want, but it's something identified for the LLM. In my case, I put BMC Helix GPT 4.1 to know about the version, the release. And then, but it's the name that you prefer. Here, P API key and the version. Be careful on that version because this is the version of the API of the connection. It is not the version of your LLM. So how to know this? It is published in the BMC documentation that for 4.1 should be this version, but for 4.0 is a different version that is explained in the BMC documentation. Okay, so many customers are asking, this is for my LLM version? No, it's the API version. Okay, to clarify this. Then we have API endpoint that the customer you need to provide to the system and the API key. Then we have here the default configuration that should be some parameters that you can put the same as I have, except of this one, deployment name. This is something that it should come from your LLM. If you don't know or you are not aware how to take this, because this is taken from the LLM documentation, if you don't know how, please raise a case to support because they are helping to the users and the customers to get this name. And then from here, they can finish all of this configuration. Okay, so with all of this filled out, I can test my connection. Connection is successful, so I can start to use this provider, this configuration in my model for the connection with the LLM. Now moving to the skill. Once the configuration is working, then we need to go to the skills. In the skills, we have different applications. Depending on my agent, I need to select a different application. So for this case, it's Digital Workplace Catalog because it's the Catalog Service Curator. You will see this one out of the box, Catalog Service Curator. So you see the provider, you see the model. If I try to change to my new connection, custom connection, and I try to apply, you see, I get an error. Skill is seed data. Seed data cannot be updated or deleted. Okay, so in 25.4 is not allowed. In 25.3, it is allowed, but we recommend to use the best practice and then do in the same way that I am doing in the session today. So we cannot modify. What we need to do is a copy of to add a new skill and then create one from not from scratch, but this is a copy of the other. So click on add a skill, then everything is empty here, and what you have to fill out is these values. So for the name, Catalog Service Curator, what I did is to put the same that the other, but I add underscore custom. So I know that this is my custom skill. Then type regular, provider Azure OpenAI, and my model, the one it is custom, I created in my system. And it is important, instruction type agent. Okay, when you have all of this, click on save, and then your copy of your skill, it is done. If I click here in my skill, you will see my model is the one that I've already put. And then we need to move to the agent. In the agent, you will find one agent that is Catalog Service Curator. I am using this one that is out of the box because I am not going to modify it, okay? It is good because there is no modification. But in case that you want to do any modifications, we need to repeat the process. That is to do a copy of my skill and then put a new name like Catalog Service Curator Custom. So it's going to the agents, and from the agents, see how it is doing. Catalog Service Curator, copy the instructions and paste in the new agent, and then you will have the agent created. It's only the instruction, nothing else it is needed. But in this case, and you can do right now in the same way, linking with Catalog Service Curator out of the box, because we are not going to modify. Okay, my application, Digital Workplace Catalog, is now pointing to the Catalog Service Curator out of the box. But what I have to do is to change configuration to point to the Catalog Service Curator custom. That is the new one we have created. To do this, I can close from here. I go to Innovation Studio, Applications. I need to open my application, Digital Workplace Catalog. I open this application and I go to the views. If I go to the view, you only have this view, Catalog Service Curator, that is the one out of the box. If I open it, here it is. You see the definition cannot be edited. If I click here, for example, is my skill Catalog Service Curator, that is the out of the box. And what we want is to change that, because all of these we cannot modify. What we have to do is to do a copy. So click on your out of the box record here, and then do a copy. The only thing that you have to do is to change the name. So what I did is to put the same _ custom. Do that, and then click a copy. When you have this copy created, open it. So you need to open this one, the custom one. Clicking on the center of my screen, it is enabled now HelixGPT chat. You need to see this. And from the right part of my screen, you need to select Catalog Service Curator Custom. That is the skill that we have just created. That is the good one. And then what you have to do is to click on preview, okay? You will see the chat, the agent working. And what you have to do is to copy the URL. Here it is, select all of this and Control-C. Why? Because we are going to use this URL in the configuration right now. So you only have to copy this URL. Once I can, let's see if I can close that. Yeah. Once we have this copy, you can save the changes, because we have here the curator custom, and then close. And the last part of the configuration is to include this URL, that is the one with our custom view used in the administration part. So we need to go to the administration on the top. And then here, searching by Digital Workplace Catalog. And then clicking on Global. You need to scroll down in Global, and here you will have the URL that we have just copied. So we need to paste here my URL, and you will see at the end of the URL that is Catalog Service Curator Custom, okay? When you have this URL here, there is something important to show you now. Let's see if I can show you now. Here in the middle of the URL, you see the word preview. Preview because we were doing a preview, and we need to change this for the word iView. So before saving the changes, please be aware to change preview by iView. Give me 1 second, because I wanted to put this in the chat. That is the change. To everyone, not to forget this change, preview, that you will see this in the URL to iView, okay? Yeah, and then enable here and then save. With all of this, we have done the configuration. So we can close. And now we are going to the digital workplace catalog, okay? In the digital workplace catalog, you can go to the view service queue, to the services. I am opening service management. And from here, you will see the catalog assistant, this. If you don't see that, because I already enabled in the innovation suite, but if you don't see that for any reason in the settings here, if you scroll down, there is, here it is, Service Catalog Curator that you can enable from here, okay? So it will show you. There is important to double check that if you are going to use multi-language, that we are going to do translations, you need to have this enabled. And the other part is default connections here that you need to have entitlement approval in remedy. That is the standard that we are using, okay? With all of this, configuration is done and we can start to test it. So that is done. Your agent is already configured. Okay. So clicking here in the catalog assistant, we open our chat with the agent. And the first question is how to start to create a service, because I don't know what to put here to create my service. So for this, we have this button, Guide Me. So you will receive all the questions that you need to respond, and then the service, it will be created. You can put all the questions answers in one line. You can put only maybe the service name and not much more, and then updating and doing some modifications. So you can use both of them, or answering all the questions or going partially step by step. So you can see here example input. From here, there is an example how to create a service. West Wi-Fi access, it should be IT request template and may require versioning. Additional languages, French, Spanish, and German. There is no cost, quantity, or SLA target. This service requires manager approval and should generate a work order on the request. You can copy this and you can paste. Even if you want to do any modifications in the test, maybe you don't want Spanish or you don't want whatever, only for testing, it's like copy and paste and then click in to the chat. And you can see it's like automatically it's creating my services with all of these requirements. So later when you start to create, you can use this like a template if it's working for you. And then we have my service in English, French, Spanish, and German that we put here. So you will see the service name in the different languages. And the profile here, the same with short description in the different languages. If I scroll, go to the right part, you will see French, Spanish, and German. And then service workflow, in this case with approval manager that we put in the sentence, creating a work order. And then the questions in English that they consider for to create this type of service. Then questions in French, in Spanish, and German. The last part is about the service cost and quantity. So with all of this, I only copy and paste, and then I put looks good. And then my service is created. I have to say that if you want to do any modification, it should be done before you write here, I confirm, I create a service or looks good, before that. So once this service is created here and you have your service ID, then you cannot modify with the agent. You need to go to the classic console, and from the console, you can change your profile, your questions, your workflow, but be aware that cannot be modified for now. It cannot be modified in the agent. So before writing here looks good for the approval for creation, please review that everything is good. Okay. So what we are going to do now is to create a new service, but in this case, we are going to do a step by step. New topic, for example, and I say, create a service to request Microsoft Teams installation. I only put that, nothing else. And it's going to define what the agent thinks that it would be good to create this type of services, thinking that is a software installation. So he can only with this, with the service name, Microsoft Teams installation request, the agent can do a summary request installation for Microsoft Teams for communications and collaborations. And then you have a service description that about what is this service, okay? But we are going to modify this, for example, the service description. We see that we have the workflow. In my workflow is non-approval for now. And it's creating a work order that it is good because installation is a work order, is not an issue. Then my language is in English, everything is in English, and I have some fields that they have created for my services. And then service cost and quantity. I don't write looks good because we need to do some changes over these services. The first change is modification of my change description. I want to have this more completed about what is Microsoft Teams, and I want to add here manager approval is required, okay? So you see now that my service description has been modified with my test and manager approval is required. That is good. Then the second modification that I am going to do is to add the manager approval, because if we look on the top, you see approval requirement none. I will write here, add manager approval. Here it is now, my service workflow has changed, approval requirement manager, that is good. What I am going to modify now is the questions. I want to add a question that is, please specify your location with these values, Madrid, Amsterdam, and New York. So you have here your location that is new. Please specify your location available options. And here on the labels, you will see Madrid, Amsterdam, and New York, that my new values. Okay. Then we can add other type of questions, like add a new question, like additional comments. So let me put this. Add a new question with no values, only additional comments. Okay. We have all of this. So I will remove questions because you don't like, you don't want that. So you can change that. Remove questions supporting documents in this case. And remove question of preferred, yes, it is good, installation date. Because I don't want the user can say, okay, I want this installation this day for installation date. Maybe I don't want this question for the end user, so that's okay. We can remove everything that we want. And here we have, so we don't have these questions anymore. We have location, additional comments, and the others, but not the others I removed. They are not here. And I want to change the label too. For email address, change label email address by user email. So you can do all the changes. Now you see that this user email, you can do all the changes that you want in the questions, location, add feeds, add menus, add additional comments, whatever, change the labels from here. And when everything is good, then I will put here the additional languages, okay? Because I am going to translate this request to Spanish and French. Let's see, you see on the top now that is English, Spanish, and French. We have the services, the same that we saw before in the copy and paste services. We have here the name of the service in the different language, English, Spanish, and French. My profile, like the description in English, Spanish, that you can see here, sorry, you can see here, manager approval is required. That is the one that I put at the beginning. And then if I move to the right part, se requiere la aprobación del gerente, that is in Spanish, so I can read that. Here it is. And then French. So you see at the end of the French is l'approbation du responsable requis. Excuse for my pronunciation in French, but you can see that everything has been translated. Service workflow with the approval manager and the work order again. And then the questions we have in English, everything with the additional comments and location. Then in Spanish, the same ubicación or location or additional comments, comentarios adicionales. And then in French too, localisation and commentaires supplémentaires. That's all. With all of this, then we are ready to create my service. Now, yes, I am not going to do any more modifications. So what I have to write here, one of the three of them is create service, looks good. Looks good, or I confirm. And then my service is going to be created. It's doing the connections to the LLM. And here it is. So we have now a service that is Microsoft Teams installation request with this ID. The service is already created. Okay. Then I can close from here for my agent. That is done. I go to refresh, and then you have seen here Microsoft Teams installation request that has been created 22 seconds ago. And the other, the one that I copy and paste, was Wi-Fi access. We have here 8 minutes ago. So you have seen in less than 8 minutes, I could create 2 service requests. So it's super fast. That is true. That is like a standard workflows and a standard questions, but it's in less than 10 minutes, I created 2 service requests. So what we have to do now is when I click on the service request, I go to actions and open, and you will see here what it has been created. We have the catalog profile and the workflow. In the workflow, we have the questions and we have the workflow like that. If you want to do any modification, you should come here and edit and do modifications from here. Now, what we are going to do, this is in a draft status. We are going to approve and publish. The reason is because we want to test this in digital workplace. Approve. We have published now the status. That is good. And before going to the digital workplace, please don't forget the entitlements. So because I am administrator, maybe I am going to see this in my environment. But if you have your entitlements, for example, I have for Apex Global. Apex Global is my company. I am connecting now. And then from here, it's like, okay, I am adding all the services for all the people in Apex Global to have access. I came here to the service and banners catalog and add my service. Installation request. Here it is. Add this one and close. So with this, what we are doing is that all the users in my company, Apex Global, they have access to the service. And now moving to the digital workplace. And let's see this case, if it is working. So I am going to put here the numbers that I have in the recent is because some testing I was doing, Microsoft Teams installation, that is the name of my new agent, my new request, and then click here. This is for Employee Navigator, okay, the first, because in my environment, I have Employee Navigator, but I didn't synchronize yet with Employee Navigator, so I cannot use yet in Employee Navigator. This is a step I will show you later, okay, how to synchronize in the agent Employee Navigator. So for now, I go to the classic view, my search, catalog items, here, and you can see that there is now Microsoft Teams installation request. That is the one I just created. So you can, from here, you can click and then request now. Please enter your full name as it has appeared in the company records. User email, but if you remember, it was email address. I changed by user email. I can write my email. I put a short one. Location. This is what I wrote. It's like I want to add a location with Madrid, Amsterdam, and New York, and here is my menu. I am from Madrid. Next, installation, device type. This is for a Windows, and purpose of installation, to connect with peers. Next, additional information. I need to have this provided by the end of this week. So this is the other field that I've added additional information, like additional comments. You see that there are like 3 subsections that is creating automatically. It's not like a simple form. It's like a different sections depending of the type of the information in the field. And then I submit. Here is it is. Here is Microsoft Teams installation request 1.0. That is my release I just created. If I open now, you will see that I add an approval from my manager. This person is my manager in the system and is pending his approval to move forward. So the last configuration that we are going to do today is what happens if I already configured Employee Navigator, how to synchronize this with Employee Navigator. So there is a step more to do. I go to the Helix portal. I go to Innovation Suite. I open again my application, yes, Digital Workplace Catalog. And from here, we have an Actions menu on the top. And then we have the option, Publish Chat Enabled Services. So we need to publish from here. I have to say that this is not only for those requests that are creating with the agent, this is for all the requests. So that is another agent, Employee Navigator, but in the moment that you want to use all your requests or your service requests, then you need to synchronize here with the services, and then they will be available for Employee Navigator. So the first thing is provider is GPT. My application name is Digital Workplace because I am going to synchronize with Digital Workplace. And then my skill that in my demo environment is demo design. This is the skill that you need to add when you have the different questions in Employee Navigator. So this is a skill from Employee Navigator. Then next, and here you can publish in a bulk way. I mean, when you need to publish many of them, you can check several of them that is allowed, and then you can publish them. But in this case, what we are going to do is only to publish about Microsoft Teams I just created. So I look for this. This is another testing I did. But now what we have is this one that just created. And we are going to publish. Then we can add some variations that is for Employee Navigator. That's okay with this. Then the questions, I am going to publish all my questions, the same questions that I have with my location, with my additional comments. And then we have the button for publish. That's all. So all configuration for Employee Navigator, it is done. So from here in the digital workplace, now we can start to use in Employee Navigator. Employee Navigator is a different agent that I can configure here in the search part, or I can configure here on the right part of my screen, or I can configure from here in Employee Navigator, okay? So give me 1 second. I am going to write here what I want to open a request in Microsoft Teams installation. As always, you can use like natural language, open a request about Microsoft Teams installation to install in my laptop at the end of this week. Be careful in the way that you are doing the questions here, because if you put something very, very generic, for example, Microsoft Teams installation, and only that is good, but maybe the agent is going to offer you like knowledge articles. So in case that you want to be very clear, I want to raise this case, you need to train the agent and you need to explain to them. I open a new request to my laptop that I want to install, whatever you want. But be specific about what you are writing here, because if not, sometimes they can give you some knowledge articles or another different thing, okay? And this is a matter of learning. And then you see that we will have the same questions that I put on the other side, we have here now in Employee Navigator. Could you please provide your full name to proceed with this installation? Yes, that is my full name. The same email address. So you see the look and feel is different. It's more like a questions, but one by one. Location, in location, because it is a menu. I have the offer here, so I can click here in Madrid. Thank you. Could you please specify the device type for this? It's, again, we have a menu that is a Windows. Could you please specify the purpose of the installation? I need to connect with the teams, with the team groups in my company, whatever you want to write. Do you have additional comments? I need installation for today, or whatever you want to write. If you don't want to write any of these comments, you can skip the questions, okay? With all of this, you have a summary of your ticket. Would you like to submit this request? Yes. Yes, or I confirm, or I submit. And then if everything is going well, that it is, you will see here the request ID. I can open, I just created. And then it's the same situation. This is the new one, because of the description here is the one I've already written in Employee Navigator, pending the approval of my manager, and then we can progress on that. If I go here to the top, and with this I finish my activity. Here it is, thinking a little. You see that we have two of them. One is the one I created in the classic way. The second one is the one I created with Employee Navigator. So with this, I finished my presentation, my demo. To do a summary is like the first part is configuration of your LLM, then the agent that you have to do the copy, then going to the digital workplace catalog to do this configuration there, the view, and then the administration part with the URL. And then you can start to use this in digital workplace catalog, okay? that is from the environment. Here it is the documentation, okay? Some documentation that can be very useful, how it looks like, how it's working, the models and skills. But GPT Agent Studio, this is a generic information, not only for this agent, but for all the agents to have more information about GPT. And then we have a specific information about Service Catalog Curator, how to enable and configuring the Service Catalog Curator. Additionally, we have created a document specifically for this configuration that you can see step by step everything that I've been doing today in the session today. Okay, 1 second. Moving to the next slide, this is a summary. Like a summary, we have a community in Service Catalog Curator. There is a community. We can share ideas, questions. You can see live Q&As, workshops. It's a real connection. Here you have the links for the calendars, for the workshop groups where you can do these questions. So it is true that we can answer here in the Q&A some questions. It is true that we can chat, but I encourage you to go to these workshop groups that will be very useful for all the agents, okay? Before moving to the Q&A questions, I want to speak about the Helix Learning.
I can do that if you like, Marta.
Okay.
Trying to get my voice back. So yeah, let me just talk that through. And actually, I think I'll take liberty of showing the community groups very shortly. But just a reminder, because we're doing a lot of agent work, some of you would have joined some of the webinars we're doing around the agents. We've got a lot coming up also in January. And including these workshops will take us right till the end of January. And we're also going to be bringing in CMDB Governor and Employee Navigator, which Marta's shown today. But we fortunately have got some web-based training. So if you haven't already done them, you can see the details below on this slide. But I will give you direct links if you want to sign up for it. And even more so, we do get a discount, which I will give you the code in your thank you email as well. So we're working very closely at making sure that not only do you get your training, you also get the actual physical training that you can do, which will be at your own pace as well. So hopefully you found this workshop very helpful today to get you configured. And then, of course, not forgetting being able to reach out to this team directly, or if you have a customer success manager as well. So I won't go too much detail on this, Marta, but we've got obviously lots of agent training, and I will send out those links for everyone to go to. I will also start unlocking everyone shortly. I'm just going to take over the screen share if you don't mind, just so I can show the groups, because I feel that some of the workshops we've previously done, it's been quite helpful to showcase the groups. So let me just try to replace and get the right screen. Tell me when you can see this. Bear with me. And then we'll go to the Q&A.
Okay.
Is it showing?
Yes, it's showing the communities, yes.
Okay, so for those that are quite adverse to the communities, we created two groups, as Marta mentioned. So the first one is actually the workshop series. So when we do one of these workshops, we're actually posting into the feed below all the content that we've shared for each of the workshops. And you can see, because we ran 2 last week, they will say 9 and 10. So that was for APAC and EMEA. There was some great questions, so we combined them together. There's also the previous workshops. There's another one for Service Catalog Curator. It'd be really highly recommended to go and look at some of the questions that come up. They may help you. And then there's also some conversation posts. If you do want to speak to the team, then if you put here your question and press ask, that will pop up in the feed. And obviously you just need to invite yourself to the group first. You'll see that we've got members already, but I'm just asking and promoting today to make sure that you know where the content is. And then as far as the schedule goes, we did actually create something separate, which was a calendar. So as soon as the sessions go, we put the Q&A and the on-demand link. And then any of the ones that are going to be pending, you'll see they'll still have a registration link available. So as soon as new ones come up from this team, you'll see the dates getting added. And here's an example here where it says click to register. So if you've already registered for some of these previously, which clearly you have today, that link that you used will be hyperlinked here. You just need to click back on there and pick the other session. And if for some reason you're getting any problems, then do let me know. I can always add you to the sessions. So I think the main thing is we would love to get you into the community if you're not already using it. Really quick process where you can register by clicking onto this BMC community badge area here. It's shared with BMC as well, and it's BMC Helix. You'll find all the details on the community. Okay. So that's probably all that we wanted to cover, and it's been awfully quiet that we haven't kept your panelists busy. So I am now going to open up to others to speak with us live. So if you do have any questions, don't be shy. Please come forward and give us your questions. And the other thing, I don't know if we've still got Hugo on here. Is Hugo still here? Has he run away? Yeah, I think he's had to drop off. But we are going to be running some other sessions for CMDB Governor. We're also going to be running some sessions for Employee Navigators, so look out for those coming in the new year as well. And Marta, while I'm just unmuting anyone else, was there any other call to action from you or anything else that you want to share?
No, that is covered. Well, one more thing is in the moment that you start, maybe you are following these steps today, maybe you are going to do later with the recorder, but in any moment that you have any questions or problems, how to do that, I mean, we can do our team, Helix Adoption Advisory Team, we can do a one-to-one sessions with the customers. In my case, I do in Spanish, open to speak Spanish, and then we can do the sessions with Latin America, with Spanish, and if it's in English, it's okay. But I want to highlight that if one-to-one session it is needed, we are very happy to help.
That's perfect. And I also did push out the poll. So if anyone is looking for other languages, just on that note, we do have a question asking about whether you're interested in different languages. So we will try to accommodate that as well. So if you could just fill in that poll if you've seen that it was launched short time ago. Okay. So do we have any other questions? And I've seen that the team have been busy answering a few, but we don't have any new ones. So I will just, while we're waiting for people to have a think, or we can close early. Does anyone else in the panel or the team have anything else that they want to add? Did such a good job, Marta. They have no questions.
Yeah, that is what I was thinking. You know, I explained very well or very bad. I hope very well that everything is clear. But sometimes these type of questions are coming later. I am happy to answer later in any moment. Thank you all for this thumbs up and the hearts and everything. And thank you.
Yeah, not everyone's always comfortable to ask questions, but we go back to if you do get anything that comes up over the next coming days, weeks, then you've got the community, you've got the direct relationships with your CSMs and also the adoption specialists. Do let us know. I will actually just do a quick plug next week. What we have got on the agenda for those that are interested in Insight Finder. I know we're talking about Service Catalog today, but they're all combined, a lot of our agents. We do have a webinar that's coming up by the product manager, Nikhil. He's going to be talking about the latest release. That's going to be on Monday. It's not a typical normal day to do webinars, but he was very, very desperate to want to get something out before the end of the year. So we would love to see you on the 8th, which is what's new in Helix Dashboards 25.4. And then we also have a really great demonstration on Helix Dashboards, which is going to be called Chaos to Clarity. And then one of our CSMs are going to be showing the dashboard. So that's on the 9th. Do come to those well. And again, don't worry about taking the links. I will share those with you. And then we've also got an Ask the Expert session with this team again, and it will be with Service Collaborator on the 11th. So I will share all of those links out for you to make it easy. It's all on one page where I put them if you're not already following it. Okay, I think we've got quite a few people now dropping off. So Marta, thank you very much for presenting today, and thank you for the team of panelists. There's too many to mention individually. Very grateful, and I hope everyone that's still here, this has been useful. Do keep coming to the sessions, give us some feedback as well, and we will hopefully see you all very soon, if not next week. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye all.